Hey, good evening. I'm going to talk about something called Fibonacci numbers. Hopefully you can see my chicken scratch. Okay, so Fibonacci numbers, we start with, if you can see that or not. Well, we'll just assume that you can. There's a 1 there. All right, now I see it. So we take a 1, and the second number is going to be 1 as well, because if you started with 0 and 1, and you add the 2 together, you get 1. Now if you add 1 and 1 together, you're going to get 2. And 1 and 2 together, you're going to get 3. And 2 and 3 together, you're going to get 5. Then 8. Then 13. And 21. And so forth and so on. Right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the graph paper, and we're going to start drawing out one square. And then next to that one square, we're going to put another square. So that's our first 1 and 1. The next square up is 2 by 2. The square after that is 3 by 3. Square after that is 5 by 5. 4, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 8. And we'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's 13 there. So the Fibonacci square is fairly famous. It is a means for dividing and approaching the golden proportion. So if I said, 1 over 1, and I divide the two of them together, I get 1. And then 1 and 2, I get 2. 2 and 3, I get 1.5. And I get 1.6. Actually, 1.6 and a 1.625, I think, and so forth and so on. And what this will approach is something called phi, which is also known as the golden mean. Now, what do you do with all this crazy math? Well, if you're starting to devise a plan to build something, you can start using these numbers in pairs to start thinking about how you're going to draw your vessel in, or your bowl. So for instance, if I had a bowl that was 5 inches deep, I might want to make it 8 inches wide. And what that'll give me is a golden mean approximation in the form of my bowl. Conversely, if I had a bowl that was only 3 inches deep, I might want to make it 5 inches wide. Or I can make it 5 inches tall if it's 3 inches wide, and I still fit within this box here. And I'm going to sketch this in. Now if I decide I wanted to put some sort of another feature or a transition, I can pick off a point on this rectangle, and this will be where I start to draw in my shape, and so forth and so on. But so when we start talking about using the golden mean to divide out proportion, it can also not only be our rough dimensions, but where we start to put the transitions on the vessels. So hopefully you got this. and you'll start thinking about things in terms of golden mean. Now, what do you do if your piece of wood is, let's say, I don't know, I'll pick a random number, 4 inches? Well, with 4 inches, I would take 1.6, give or take, times the 4, and I would end up at about 6.5 inches. Hopefully you can see all of that. I'm not sure if it's going to be backwards because of the front camera, but if it is, then just turn your head around. In any case, this is some simple math that you can do when you start to design your vessels and your bowls and things like that. Hopefully this has been of help, and we'll see you in the next episode.